I do want to get to a breaking update on a story that we have been tracking all throughout the morning here on Live Now from Fox. The National Hurricane Center now saying there is a 50% chance that a tropical disturbance in the Gulf could strengthen and develop as it brings heavy rain over to parts of Florida and surrounding states. This all comes, of course, on day one of the Atlantic hurricane season. Brandy Campbell with Fox Weather joins us now live from Miami, Florida to bring us the latest as, of course, preparations are underway to see what will happen next. Brandy, as always, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Good morning, Josh. I'll tell you, that's quite an update. It was at 20% being favorable to develop, so it'll be interesting to see how this storm strengthens as it approaches Florida. But as you can see here in downtown Miami, the weather is actually pretty nice, but we know later on we are going to start to get some storms just ahead of that storm approaching Florida. Right now we are under a flood watch here in southeast and southern Florida. So that goes on until tomorrow evening. So residents near bodies of water should be on alert. Anybody in low-lying areas or in just areas that are known to flood, like parts of downtown Miami. We could get between 2 to 6 inches of rain going into this weekend, and that adds on to the surplus of rain we've already received this year. Miami is 10 inches over our average to date for rain, which is now at 26 inches so far this year. Fort Lauderdale, they have a surplus of over 2 feet of rain. They're at 46 inches of rain this year, but their average for Fort Lauderdale and Miami is really just 16 inches by this date. Now, on the other hand, places like Tampa, they are in drought at this time, so they could use the rain, but unfortunately, they will not be getting the bulk of it from this system. And we also just got a drought update. At this point, 26% of the state is in drought or was in drought. Now it's down to 14%. So hopefully the storm will help out. Now, one thing I do want to point out, guys, that is kind of interesting. It's almost like deja vu. We have some video of this time last year, just in the days following the beginning of hurricane season. We also had a disturbance to cross over the state of Florida. I reported on it here from Miami. We had some flooding that dropped just over 13 inches of rain. So very similar situation in the first couple of days, and it was a disturbance. That one did eventually go into the Atlantic and turn into Tropical Storm Alex. So we'll see what happens with this one, especially with its chances up to 50%. But again, keep in mind, no storms are the same. The impacts can be different. And at the end of the day, we are under a flood watch with ground so saturated here. So everyone in Florida, Southeast, South Florida should be on alert. Back to you.
For sure. All right, Brandy Campbell there with Fox Weather. Thank you so much for taking the time here to join us. Stay dry out there.
Of course.